take care of yourself and things of that nature. But can Floyd compete? That's a good question, though. Can Floyd compete, though? Hell, man, he can compete with. I think he can compete. I'll go ahead and say I think he can compete. Can he win is the question. I don't know, man. That's something that we would just make you see if you ask me. But would it surprise me if Mayweather was able to beat some of these dudes? No, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, I feel like if you come back and beat a couple of these dudes, like, let's say he comes back and beat Canelo again. He beats Pacquiao, that's a good win. Let's say he comes back and he could come back and fight an Errol Spence to beat an Errol Spence. That would put an exclamation mark. Well, let me not say it this way because let's be real. Floyd Mayweather don't have to really do shit to put an exclamation mark on his resume. He has a good resume as it is, but I feel like it will be no hands down. I mean, it will be hands down. So we'll have to say that Floyd Mayweather, man, may just be the best ever. For all the people that want to argue with that, to come back and beat guys like Errol Spence, Canelo, and let's just say in the perfect world for Mayweather, he takes 5 deal. So we know we're going to get 5 fights out of Mayweather. He comes back, he beats again, he beats Errol Spence, Crawford, Pacquiao again. And to top it all off, he go out with a bang and go ahead and he can give us shit that last fight. We don't care who it is in the last fight. I ain't gonna lie to you. He could take anybody in the last one. And that would cement his resume right there. What's your thoughts on it? That's my thought.
Yeah, like I said, man, because I accidentally stopped recording some of it, but it wasn't a lot at all. But like I said, you still got your points in. Like I said, subscribe to always matter. Please support the channel and everything like that. We definitely plan to put a lot more video calls out. So, like I said, man, but can he still compete? That's a good question. Because, like I said, I'm gonna put the video for anybody want to watch. At the end of this video, I'm going to put a link to my other video of the story of when Mayweather destroyed the fighter who was lined up to fight Errol Spence. The fight ultimately it fell through, but I think his name was Kevin Lee. Yeah, and he destroyed him in sparring. And there's actually some footage I have on the video too. So don't worry about that. It's just some footage. It's not like me talking. So like I say, I think his name is Kevin Lee. Yeah, Kevin Lee, and he actually beat him. He destroyed him. And Kevin Lee, he was like I said, he was up to fight Errol Spence. That was supposed to be Errol Spence's opponent, and he beat him. And I think at the time, Mayweather was either 42 or 43. So that's a good sign. But is he still able to compete? It depends on who. Do I think Mayweather could still compete with the big dogs like Spence, Terrence Crawford, Porter, Garcia, all them? Some of them, but it would require a lot of work, a lot of training camp, a lot of stuff like that. But he can definitely pick off some mediocre fighters right now. I mean, he can definitely pick up, especially it depends on which weight class. Because lightweight would be very hard for him to make right now. But he can pick off some lightweight fighters. He can, like I said, he can definitely pick some mediocre fighters off right now. But can he compete full force, the best of the best? Maybe, but like I said, he's probably not gonna win most of the fights. He fights. If let's say he fights some really good top fighters, he might not win many of them at all. But can he still compete? Like I said, the answer is yes and no. It depends on what level of fighter you're talking about. He might be able to surprise a high level fighter, but like I said, I think he can still beat these mediocre fighters, these average fighters. But can he still compete at the highest level? I don't know, because he's 44, man, and that's tough. We've seen it's tough, and it depends on his training camp too. Like I said, it all depends on training camp, because we've really never seen Mayweather get, even with McGregor. Like I said, Mayweather, he really never he got a training camp in, but it really wasn't even crazy serious like that. You know, he got in shape and everything, but he said he really didn't really spar for McGregor. That came out of his own mouth. Don't take my word for it. It came out of his own mouth. He said he didn't really spar for McGregor like he did for his real boxers. And in the tension fight, his latest fight, he said he didn't train at all for that fight. Although, you know, he did get in the gym once, but he said that's it. He definitely didn't get no real training camp in for that fight. So, you know, what can Mayweather do with a full training camp, full sparring, sparring people lined up? What can he do? I mean, he might still be able to compete with these average level fighters, or maybe he might be able to shock some of these high level fighters. But like I said, he did say he wasn't coming back fighting more boxers. But if he ever did, he would definitely stay away from like Spence and Crawford.
Okay, well, let me ask you this: in a perfect world for Mayweather, you pick in his like, let's say he came back for 3 fights.
Okay.
Name me 3 opponents that you feel he should come back and face. That will be like, okay, it will put a lot more credit on his resume. And they could be mediocre and I'm talking about people you think he could possibly beat.
Well, are you talking about like, you know, active fighters right now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I mean, I know a lot of guys, Paulie Malignaggi, but he's not active. Welterweights, let's think. 3 guys I think he could beat. Well, you know, I already told you about the Kevin Lee guy. So, but those aren't really. He's not really popular right now. But you're talking about, you know, just because I'm trying to see. Well, I mean, 3 fighters he could definitely come back and beat. I think he can definitely, or I'm very confident he might be able to pick off an Adrian Broner right now.
Yeah. He won't really get no credit off of Adrian Broner like that. So keep going.
Well, I mean, you know, that's also still a money fight. He might be able to. Nah, I mean, he might be able to pull off a Pacquiao.
He could beat Pacquiao. I think, especially right now. Now, Pacquiao, right after the Keith Thurman fight, it'll be different. But right now, I think he probably get him. Another thing, we gotta understand that. I think that Floyd should take somebody at 147. Want to come back and get, like, if you want to put some more steps, some more as resume.
Right. Like, well, you know, it just, you know, I think he can beat him Pacquiao, but that would take a really, really good training camp, and he definitely would have to get in shape and fight real boxers and everything like that. I'm trying to see who's some guys he can pick off, because I mean, like I said, it's hard. We don't really have a lot to go off of, really. We don't really have a lot. Yeah, like I said, we don't have a lot to go off of.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it depends on. You know, Marcos Maidana, he could probably pick him off. Although Marcos Maidana isn't active, he would definitely beat Marcos Maidana. Like, you know, worse than he did the first time, or, you know, 2 times they fought. I'm looking at. It's not a lot of, like I said, we don't really have a lot to go off of, but, you know, it just depends. We have to get more footage of him with a full training camp, because we really don't have that. But he is smart. He's very smart, and anybody Mayweather fights, he will beat, because he knows he can beat him. Like I said, you know, I think he can really, if he got in there with anybody, he's very smart. So, you know, he could definitely, I think he can compete with anybody right now, except for like maybe Spence and Crawford, you know. But he's very smart, so, you know, I think he can definitely get Pacquiao. You know, Broner, I think he can get Maidana, some of these other guys, maybe even Berto. He already fought Berto. But these are some guys I think he can beat right now. But like I said, we don't really have a lot to go off of. But, you know, I do know one thing: his defense has gotten a little bit worse. I've seen sparring footage, you know, that I will link at the end of this video. That, you know, he is getting hit with some jabs, but like I said, he's very smart. So, I think he can definitely pull off victories against those fighters.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, let's my thoughts on that. Like you said, we got a whole lot to go off of, so it's like kind of hard to answer that.
Yeah.
We answered it pretty much the best of our ability.
Yeah, EBTV Sports signing off, man.